Item 4 here. The engine room bilge pump operates electrically. You can hear the motor come on, but I don't see it disturbing any water. I don't know if the water level's too low, but it completely covers the screen. But it could be that just the impeller's out of the water, you know.
Well, can we fill in the space and see if it's picking up water?
Well, yeah, that's what they're recommended.
Oh, sorry.
So, okay. All right.
You first.
Yeah. Okay. The fuel injection pump lube oil, that's the most important maintenance item on the Ford Lehman engines. They're just darn near bulletproof engines. If you don't overheat them and
Start melting shit.
yeah. The port engine is a little low on it, and the starboard is fuel diluted. Most people don't know about that, but it's a separate oil reservoir. Only takes a cup of oil, but they got to be changed every 50 operating hours.
This is in the injector pumps?
Yes.
And this is on all Lehmans?
All Ford Lehmans up until the Model 135.
Okay.
Which they incorporated into lube oil.
Huh.
The reason that they did that is if you had a fuel injection pump malfunction,
yeah,
then it would dilute the lube oil in the engine, and you could do damage to the engine. But it's virtually a non-event.
Okay.
So they just changed them over.
Okay. Every 50 hours. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Thank you.
Okay.
I didn't know that.
I'll show you where that plug is.
Full detail.
Yeah. The generator raw water intake, that strainer's clouded. That should be cleaned and serviced. Port engine stop solenoid doesn't operate. That needs a new solenoid or fix the wires to it or something. Okay. Here's the big one here, item 8. The fuel tanks appear to be of black iron construction. Starboard fuel tank has fuel wetness at the bottom. And I'd recommend removing the acoustic tiles and inspect for the source of the fuel wetness. Fix them as necessary.
So the tank leaping?
Yeah, and you can see it doesn't, it's fuel wetness, and there's a diaper down there, so, you know.
Now that's favoring one tank. They're on two sides, right?
Yeah.
So it's what, favoring starboard?
The leak is on the starboard, or, you know, they're all covered up with acoustic tiles, so you can't tell where the leak's coming from. I don't know if it's coming from a fitting or something on the tank. Don't know. But the thing to do would be to kind of strip the tank down and take a look.
Mm. Well, iron tanks, after their service record of 20, 25 years, it's kind of a common get out and bit pricey.
One thing that on a lot of replacement tank jobs, we've done a fair amount of Grand Banks tanks. And what you do is you cut them up in place. I've done it where you take the engines out, but a lot of times you can cut them up in place with they have a skill saw or a saber saw blade that it's called the torch, and you can it cuts through metal great.
And you collapse them, pull them out in
tanks,
pieces,
and then you put 2 or 3 tanks back in, depending on what capacity you want.
Mm.
You know, but you can build the tanks so they go through a door, so you don't have to violate the boat.
That would be, yeah, absolutely optimal.
So, okay, item 9, the main engine heat exchangers. There's some minor corrosion on them. I'm recommending servicing the cooling system. I pulled the temp gauges, upper and lower station, read in the exact correct range. I put a non-contact thermometer on the engines, and the gauges are actually reading probably 20 degrees higher than the true engine temperatures.
Are they consistent?
Yeah, they're consistent left and right and top and bottom. They're all pretty close. I mean, they're within a couple of gauge widths. And
sure.
Those are old AC gauges. That's what all these boats were built with.
So there's not really a tuning, it's just a given and a known that
Yeah.
you know that you're
Yeah.
less 20.
Right. And you can get a non-contact thermometer, you know, for probably 60 or 70 bucks. And it's not a bad tool to keep on the boat,
Oh, yeah.
you know, because if you go, I mean, if you have a gauge fail, and you go, oh my God, am I overheating or not? And you're on a trip or something, and it's like, put it on there and you go, no problem here.
Yeah, I'm
Well,
okay.
yeah.
Well, let's just tape that on.
So, okay.
Fair enough.
All right. There's two non-functioning fuel pumps on the back bulkhead, and I'd recommend pulling those off just to avoid clutter. I don't know. They look like they were at one time for a fuel transfer system or something. I don't know.
Okay. So there's just a pass through, or are they not in the
There's
line
some-
anywhere and can
there's
be
some
taken
cut-
out?
There's some cut hoses. They're not doing anything right now. Okay. A little bit of oil wetness on the bottom of the transmissions. That's just torquing up the bolts, and you'll never get them completely dry. But when you service the engine, you tighten up the bolt, put a clean diaper under it, and it works. Okay. Upper station tachometers. I couldn't get those to read. They have digitals on four-way there.
Hmm.
The lower ones have a couple of segments missing on them, but you can kind of, I'll show you when that gets going there.
So the tacks up there aren't functional. Let me ask you this.
I don't-
Just in your, oh, go ahead.
There might be a switch I'm missing or something. We'll ask Ron, you know.
Okay.
I mean, they didn't work for me, so I wrote it down.
But if the wiring is up there and it's true, is that something that I could bypass and just put digitals in?
There are digitals.
Oh, they are digital.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Again, these didn't come equipped originally with digitals. There's a pair of mechanical packs down the engine room down there. Okay. There's a bonding nut missing on the starboard rudder port back here, and I'd recommend replacing the through hull, the exhaust clamps on the through hull there. They look kind of rusty. So I'll go through and I can point out all the pieces and parts. We'll start with the aft one here if you want.